Okay, well, thank you very much for everyone who's here today. My name is Ana María Franco. I'm the International Affairs Coordinator at your faculty. Today we are gathered here because we would like to share some information about our agreement with the University of Essex. And for that reason, I've got two people to introduce you to today. The first one is Emma. Sorry, Emma, I don't know how to pronounce your surname. I will let you do it in a moment. I'm Professor Nelson from the Department of Government at the University of Essex. So go ahead, welcome, and thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, it's a soft G, so it's Emma Burgess. I am the representative for students across Latin America at the University of Essex. I'm actually in Colombia at the moment, not in Bogota, sadly. But yes, it's my pleasure to meet you all. I'm here to assist with any sort of general questions about studying at Essex. But thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Professor Nelson, would you like to introduce yourself, perhaps?
I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Government in the University of Essex, and I'm actually originally from Colombia. So if anybody wants to have a question in between in Spanish, if you don't want to make it in English, feel free to just go ahead and ask in the middle of the presentation. Just raise your hand or unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask. The idea of this is for you to participate as much as you want and to feel comfortable in the process. So if you want to speak in Spanish also, I'll understand. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Professor Nelson. I was wondering that, but okay, yes, so you're Colombian, thank you very much. If you guys are more comfortable posing questions in Spanish, that's also a possibility. I will just walk you very quickly through our session today. We are going to hear from Professor Nelson for about half an hour. He's going to tell us more about his research at the moment. After that, me and Emma, we are going to give you some information about the agreement, specifically some of the requirements and everything that you need to know if you are looking to apply anytime soon. And then at the end, we're going to open a space for questions, but also we've got two students here that have been to Essex and or are currently at Essex. So you may have the opportunity to ask questions about their experience, about the process, about their program, or any other questions that you may have.
Thanks, Nelson. Thanks, Anna. I have a couple of slides. Shall I share them, or would you prefer me just to talk?
Sure, slides is fine, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think pictures sometimes help.
Yeah, they do, I think so.
Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I'll just talk very briefly a little bit about the University of Essex, and then we can talk more specifically about the agreement that we have in place with Rosario. So just in case you're not familiar, Essex is in the southeast of the UK. We're not known for our glorious weather in the UK, but where we're located, we do have some of the best weather, although I hear that it's very cold and snowing at the moment. But generally, it's better than better the further north that you go. So at the University of Essex, we have 3 campuses. Our main campus is in Colchester. If you are going to study at Essex from Rosario as part of our agreement, then you will be at our Colchester campus, which sits on 200 acres of very beautiful award-winning parkland. I always feel that when I'm speaking to students that they would think, of course, I would say it's beautiful, but I can assure you that whenever students and their families, and we have visitors onto campus, they do always comment on the fact that it's a very beautiful, green, spacious campus. At Essex, we are known for the quality of our research and our teaching, and hopefully you have got that impression from what Professor Nelson has been talking to you about. We are a research-led university, so what our academics are researching is what our students being taught. So as Professor Nelson was discussing in his little taster session there, it's a perfect example of what are the content of our programs. It is relevant current research that academics are researching. So just a little bit of information about some of our facilities. We do have some state-of-the-art facilities on our campuses. We have some great sports facilities for students that are interested in sports. We have fantastic volleyball, basketball facilities in particular. Students that are living on our campus accommodation get a free gym membership as well. So that is something that is included. And we do have lots of different accommodation options on campus for students to live in. So for international students and students in general that are studying on our Colchester campus, they have access to all of our facilities right on their doorstep, which is definitely, I think, an advantage of living on a campus university. And then the benefit in terms of our location as well, being in the southeast, is that we are only 1 hour from the City of London. So if you're wanting to take advantage of the fact that we are close to the capital city, then it's very easy and it's very accessible to get there. So much about studying at Essex, and hopefully some of our students who are on this call who are current Essex students and have taken advantage of this Rosario partnership will be able to talk to you much more about the student experience from their own perspective. But what I would like to get across is that there is so much to get involved with outside of the classroom as well. So there are placement opportunities. So typically at a master's level, if students are wanting to get work experience, then they can get a part-time job alongside their studies. As international students, you're allowed to work for 20 hours a week. So there are often opportunities to get jobs assisting academics within the department as well. So there are opportunities to get part-time paid work on campus. You're also able to get paid work off campus as well. Lots of sports clubs, societies that students can join, some of which are related to departments and some which are not. There's all sorts, I think we have over 130 different societies. And then there's all sorts of extracurricular initiatives outside the classroom as well that can help students improve their employability. So I'll just finish sort of generally talking about Essex and let you know what my favourite thing about the university is, and that is how international we are. Almost 40% of our students are from outside of the UK. It's not just our students, it's our staff as well. And I think that creates a really interesting and important environment to learn, because as students from Colombia, if you're coming to study at Essex, then you will be in a classroom full of students from other parts of the world, and you get to bring your own experiences and your own perspective to different topics and to different classrooms, which I think really adds to the experience of studying internationally. So that's a very brief overview about Essex, and then I can talk a little bit about our partnership as well. So let me just stop sharing my screen if I can find this button to do so. Stop share. So Essex and Rosario, we have a partnership in place that enables students who are studying at Rosario on a political science undergraduate programme to come and study their masters at Essex after 3 years of your 4-year undergraduate programme. So after 3 years at Rosario, you can come and study a master's at Essex, and there are different masters that you can choose. We have some masters in our Department of Government, some masters in our Department of Economics, and some masters in our within our human rights law and human rights offering. So we have mapped the masters. So you have a limited number. There are certain masters that you can choose. We offer a few different MAs and a few different MScs. So just going back to Anna, to your question to Nelson about sort of the approach of teaching at Essex. Some of our masters do have a much more quantitative data analysis approach, but lots of our masters, we offer the same subject as an MA as opposed to an MSc. So there is a slightly less sort of scientific data approach to some of our masters. So that is something worth considering, because lots of our masters will offer the MA option or the MSc in exactly the same subject title. So students from Rosario who come and study their one-year masters at Essex will benefit from a 20% tuition fee discount. So I think what is really attractive about this option for students, for Rosario students, is that in 4 years you will graduate with both an undergraduate qualification from Rosario and a master's from the University of Essex. So it's a very good option for students who are maybe thinking about wanting to study a master's in the UK. By taking advantage of this partnership, you're going to be graduating with that master's in the same amount of time that it would ordinarily take for you to complete just your standard bachelor's in Columbia. So yeah, so I think that's a sort of very brief overview. Anna, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, or if I've missed anything off.
Thank you very much, Emma. I think we have a question. Juan David, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. I have a question about this 20% discount. Like, is there any possibility we get that discount being the students from Rosario and maybe also successfully apply to a Chevening scholarship or an Erasmus scholarship?
So the standard answer for that is you can't get more than one scholarship with us. So if you were to get a Chevening scholarship or a scholarship from elsewhere, then typically that means you wouldn't also be eligible for the 20% scholarship on top of it. But what I will say is it's usually assessed on a case-by-case basis. So if you were to be in a situation where you're awarded more than one scholarship, the best thing would be to get in contact with me and I can check your specific example or specific case with our admissions department. But generally the answer is, if you're eligible for more than one scholarship, then you would be awarded the one that is worth the most. But like I say, it can vary and it can be a bit of a it's not always a black and white answer. So the best option would be just to get in contact with me and I can get that clarified for you.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Emma. I'm going to now give you some information that may complement what Emma already gave. I may repeat some of the things that she already mentioned, but I think it's important to mention them again. So the first thing is that this agreement applies to all of our students at the faculty, but also to all alumni or egresados of our last 5 years. So you may apply as a student having completed 75% of your program, which is about 102 or 103 credits, and or you may also apply when you have already graduated and you already even working or you are an alumni now. Either way, you may receive a discount of 20% on the University of Essex fees. The fees also depend on the program and on the year. So for an updated price, you may also visit the University of Essex website and find like the most updated price for the masters that you're interested in. The second thing then is showing you, well, I think perhaps at this point we already have an idea of what the benefits may be of going abroad and studying abroad. But I think it's worthwhile to mention them again. The first thing is obviously how you may strengthen your profile, your professional and your personal profile. You may also start building a network that is not only in Colombia, but also in the UK. And these may be students, professors, and people that in the future may end up working at organizations with you, or may end up in leadership positions that you may use these connections in the future. The second thing is obviously being immersed linguistically, so improving your English, your pronunciation, your understanding, your fluidity as well, your fluency, sorry, it's not fluidity. But also it's not only about the language, but also being immersed in a place that is highly multicultural, that is highly international, and you may improve what we or you sometimes find as intercultural skills or habilidades interculturales, which is the ability to work with people that are different from us, that speak different from us, that think different from us, and how we all come together and work towards a goal. It's also a new methodology. It's a new learning methodology. Obviously, we do things differently here than they do it in the UK, and it's super valuable to have the experience in both or even more countries, and compare them and take advantage of their pros and their cons. And finally, obviously, obtaining a title from the University of from Rosario University, but also from the University of Essex when you have finished the double degree program. I have listed down all of the programs that apply to you, which is basically all of the programs at the Department of Government at the University of Essex. You may see here more clearly what we were talking about. So MA stands for Master of Arts, MRes stands for Master of Research, and MSc starts for Master of Science. So you may see that some of them repeat. For example, you may find an MA on political science, but you also find an MRes on political science, an MSc on political science. And what that means is that you may give different approach to the study of that discipline, obviously in line with what you would like to do later. So if your plan, for example, is to eventually get a PhD, it would be a good idea to do an MRes on political science, for example. In your own time, you may look through all of these opportunities, 25, if I'm not wrong, and look the one that you're more interested in. It's also important to know how the timeline goes in terms of when to apply, when to get prepared, when to travel, and everything else. So we are currently with our call open. We are open to receiving applications. These will go up until May, around the end of May, like last week of May-ish. That doesn't mean that you need to wait until then to apply, but that you may apply all throughout this time up until May. And let's say if you apply towards the end, you may receive an idea of your application around July or earlier if you apply earlier. But it would be important to start planning your trip around July, between July, August, and September, so that you may travel in August or September and start your classes in September, which is when they start. From then on, you count an academic year, which is less than a monthly year. It's about 9 or 10 months, and you will be finishing your master's around May or June of the year. Of the next year that you apply. We have some requirements that apply only for our students, so not for alumni, but for students. Well, some of them may also apply for alumni, but we will look into that in a second. For our students, you need to be an active student. That means that you need to be paying credits, and obviously as an active student at the faculty and at the university when you are applying. The second thing is that you have already had cursed 75% of your program. So again, around 102 or 103 credits. You may have a 4.0, 4.0, sorry, I forgot the word for that. I don't know, 4 or higher in terms of your notes, your academic grades. You may not have any procedure open. You may have had it in the past, but you will need to have finished with that process for you to continue. And it will also be very important for you to have a B2 English level or above. It needs to be shown through an English test that may be TOEFL or IELTS or any other exam that the University of Essex admits. You may also find this information at their website. For our alumni, well, the process is much more simple because we don't need to go through all these requirements, at least not the 75% and the being active part. But it would be important for you to have a good level of English and obviously good grades as well. For our students, it's also very important to know that if you access this agreement, and for the period that for the semesters that you spent away in the UK, you may only pay 20% of the fees here at the Universidad de Rosario. So you get 80% of the fees that you would normally pay here, and you may reuse them for your trip and your accommodation and everything that you need to sort out. I think this is the information that I wanted to give you very broadly. I think we have a question. What are the main cultural shocks Latin American students may face while studying in the UK? I think this is a great question. And it's the perfect moment for me to introduce Natalia and Santiago, which are students that have studied in the UK through our agreement. Natalia is currently there. And I think it's a perfect opportunity for you to hear about these questions from them specifically. I also studied in the UK, but that was many years ago. I think it's probably better for Natalia and Santiago to let us know what's going on at the moment. So hi, Natalia. Hi, Santiago. It's very nice to see you. And if you would like, just go ahead and ask Juan David and answer Juan David's questions.
¿Quién primero?
Dale tú, dale tú.
Okay, you want me to answer in English or in Spanish? I'm lost in how this can work.
How you prefer. Is that I believe Emma does not speak Spanish, so I feel bad for her not to understand. But other than that, perfect. It's fine for you to do.
No worries. To be fair, I need to speak English the whole day here, so it's fine. Well, I have found like many crushes, to be fair, but it's because of my personality. I'm a really like open and joyful person and stuff. So here you're just going to be surrounded by many people that are not just British people, but Asian people, for example, that have a really more close culture than we as Colombians have. So it's been quite a journey to get used to like understand people's boundaries and stuff. That's my main problem, to be fair, understanding the spaces and the ways to talk to people because of their culture, like different cultures. But in terms of, for example, Colchester, the advantage here is that it's an international town in really like quotation marks, because it's a uni town. So locals are really used to like see people from many countries in the city center. So it's often to like hear different languages, for example, in the bus and stuff like that. So it's not like a crush within the community, but maybe when you are trying to like build like relations with your new like classmates and stuff. But to be fair, it's quite easy to make friends here because we are all in the same situation. So we're all just like open enough to be like friends and make friends easily.
Santiago, how was your experience with the cultural shock?
I mean, I think the cultural shock it's not a problem. I think it's just an opportunity to, as Natalia says, like broaden your knowledge and getting to know many people from different cultures. You may have like some problems because you're living in a different country, but there's just stuff you will deal with along the year. There's nothing like, I think it's like the positive impact it's greater than any caveats or any problems, issues you will have.
Thank you, Santiago, very much. Does anyone else have another question? I think it's important, and I forgot to mention this. You may homologate, I don't know if that's the word actually, you may validate perhaps your thesis or the dissertation that you write at the University of Essex, and you may bring it back to us and also validate those credits, which is what Santiago did for his process this year. Would you like to tell us more about that experience, Santiago?
Sure. Yeah, I was going to tell a little bit more about dissertation. The first thing is that the schedule, let's say, like the line you were showing us, says that we will finish our studies by May or June, and that's true. I mean, classes will finish definitely by that time of the year, but then you will end and finish the construction of your dissertation, which is the final essay you need to hand in for getting your degree. Like most people think when going to study abroad that they will have, for example, problems with finishing their career here at Universidad del Rosario. But I think it's just a great advantage. For instance, in my case, I'm just graduating next week of political science here at uni, and now I already have my master's title from University of Essex. By the way, I'm going to Essex in 15 days for attending to the graduation ceremony. so it's really great because at the end you will have two titles in 1 year. So my classmates here, they graduated, of course, like before me, but now they are doing their masters. And many of them haven't finished, their studies. And on the other side, I already finished my masters and my undergrad, which definitely saves you time and helps you to get into the labor market easily. So it's a great advantage that helps you to prepare your dissertation. The process, the homologation process with the Universidad del Rosario, it's really simple. I mean, it took like 1 or 2 months. They just study your dissertation, and then you will save some credits, you will save time, which I think it's like one of the best advantages, besides all the experience that Natalia already talked about, which is basically the biggest advantage of going to study.
Thank you, Santiago. Thank you very much. I can see you're here at Rosario. We may go for a coffee soon. We haven't met in a while. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. It's great to see you. Does anyone else have any question? Other than that, this will be the end of our session. You're going to receive in your emails the recording of this session. The part of Professor Nelson is not going to be included this time because his research is still ongoing, so we don't want to publish that yet. But you may find all the information that we gave and the information that Emma gave as well. I'm going to leave you my contact details here in the chat, so if you want to perhaps get a personal space with me and chat about this opportunity, you can also do it. And that's it. Thank you very much for your assistance today.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for coordinating this as well. And I've just, for anyone that would like to contact me directly, my contact information is also in the chat.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Gabriela. Thank
Bye.
you.